What is gravity? Gravity is a force of attraction that exists between masses. Right? But what if I say gravity is not a force? You'll think I'm crazy. But hey, wait, let me explain. What will happen if I pack you in a box and transport you to space at a place far away from all celestial bodies? You'll float, obviously. Now what if the box accelerates upwards with an acceleration of 9.8 meters per second squared? What would you feel? You'll feel as if you are on Earth. In fact, you won't be able to tell whether you are on Earth or accelerating upwards in space. This means that there is no such thing as gravitational force. Now let's understand what is gravity. But before that, let's understand what is space-time. Hey Muskan, can you meet me at Domino's? Hey, when? See, Muskan just asked about time, which means that both space and time are required to completely define an event. Space-time is basically a mathematical model which explains that space and time are intertwined. The three dimensions of space and one dimension of time fuse together to form four-dimensional space-time. And gravity is basically caused because of distortion of space-time, and this distortion is caused by the presence of matter and energy. And gravity is nothing but objects responding to warp space-time. Let me elaborate. We all know that objects have a tendency to travel in straightest possible path. Suppose two ladybirds start moving on this ball which is curved. Now even though they start moving parallel to each other on straightest possible paths, they will end up meeting because the surface of the ball itself is curved. The ladybirds, whose world is just two-dimensional, feel as if a force is pulling them. But what really happens is that they're moving in straightest possible lines on a curved surface. Hence, they end up meeting each other. This is what actually happens with us. Since our world is three-dimensional, we feel as if a force is pulling us. But what really happens is that we follow straightest possible paths in four-dimensional curved space-time. Now, let's understand what is gravity with an analogy. Suppose this is the fabric of space-time. This space-time warps when a heavy object is placed. Now, if a ball is shot, it travels along the indentation created by this heavy object. This explains why the Earth orbits the Sun. The Sun has warped the space-time around it, and the warped space-time causes the Earth to move in its elliptical orbit. Now, let's try and understand why an apple falls. Since Earth has mass, it curves the space-time around it, and the curved space-time forces the apple to fall on the ground. The straight line paths through curved four-dimensional space-time called geodesics determine the motion of objects. The apple follows its geodesic and hence falls to the ground. Albert Einstein gave us this incredible theory